beekeeping. It's fascinating. It's a marvel, and you can always learn. There's always something to learn from the bees and its nature. And today, well, you can say that it's been said, or by whomever that knows, that 1 out of 3 bites that you put in your mouth is directly the effect of bees. If we lose bees, we'll go hungry. A little over 20 years ago, my brother had some hives, and I found that interesting. So I got myself a few hives, and from there I found that very interesting, a very nice hobby to have. And I kept adding hives to a point where I had over 70 hives. And now I'm at the age where I'm starting to reduce somewhat because of work. I'm retired, yes, and I'm pushing on 70, so not extra money, never needed that extra money. It was just because the bee is a marvel. When I'm saying honeybee, most people, when they say bee, they think of a wasp or a hornet. But a honeybee is of a different genus family altogether than the wasp or the hornet. There are a few different family of bees. There's the Carniolan, the Italian, the Russian, and now we can call it almost an Ontario bee. The Ontario bee is a mixture of different family of bees. There's no wild bees. There used to be some years ago, and due to a parasite called mites, varroa mites, and tracheal mites, there's no such thing as a feral bee anymore. You very few people will see honeybees flying around, and most people cannot recognize a honeybee. Bees actually are producing honey for their own. That's their food. Honey is food that the bees store for themselves for the winter. But the only thing is they don't know when to stop, and we take the excess and we call that honey for ourselves. I've had colonies that produced only 25, 30 pounds or 10 kilos, and I've had some that produce close to 400 pounds. A colony has, in the summertime, 60 to 80,000 bees per colony. Every year you lose about 10% over the winter. Last year, lo and behold, I lost about 80% of my bees, so I had to re-expand last spring to come up to what I usually had. But that's once it happened to me, and it happened to nearly everybody up in the northern area, that there's a high bee loss, and the reason unknown. It's not a dangerous job at all, and sting, well, you get stung regularly. The only thing is I would guesstimate over 1,000 stings a year, because I was always in the hives, and I never work with all that protective gear. Well, they can read the weather a lot better than we can. And, well, they know the time also. In the evening, don't go check the bees in the evening, because they will more likely be naughty in the evening, because they're all back into the hive. They go out in the morning, they do some foraging, go back and forth, but at night they all come back into their own colony.